Hi, I'm Phil Needham with Needham Ag Technologies. This video is going to be dedicated towards the John Deere air seeders, essentially the 1860, 1890, 1895s. It's going to be most useful if you're looking at buying a used one, or if you've already got one. It's going to touch on a lot of the individual components and what you need to be looking for to keep these running smoothly in the field to achieve the most performance and keep downtime down to a minimum. So let's go through the 5 things we'd like you to look at and consider when buying or maintaining one of these drills. So here on the openers, we need to start by looking at the disc blades. New blades are new at 18 inches. Once they drop below 17 inches, their sharp bevel begins to disappear and they get dull very quickly after that, and they don't cut. They hairpin, especially in tough, heavy residue. So it absolutely starts with a sharp disc blade. Then you need a good condition seed boot to position the seeds down into the seed slot created by the disc with a good tab, like our vanilla tab, that's firm enough to press the seeds down into the bottom of the seed slot. We've got narrow gauge wheels in this example. We especially recommend these for no-till. These are V8 firming wheels to press the seeds down into the bottom of the seed slot. Then these are the Martin 20-point wheels to close the slot a whole lot better in no-till. Look at your pivots, the firming wheel pivot, the closing wheel arm pivot, and lastly the main opener arm pin and bushings at the front. If any of these have a lot of wear, then the money is going to add up quite quickly to maintain these parts on a drill. But these are really important to maximize the performance of the drill in the field, especially in no-till. Next, we need to look over the frame really well, especially on the wings, especially if you're seeding maybe across Kansas with a lot of weight, across terraces. It just seems like it puts a lot more stress on the frames, and in some of those conditions there's some cracks that need to be checked and welded up if necessary. On the front pivots, on the caster wheels, as the pin comes through the top of the frame, oftentimes they crack, so they need to be checked too. So go over your frame really good. Oftentimes the 5/8 bolts in the back or the front of the frame are loose and they need to be tightened up too. Just little things, but they can be important to reduce downtime in the field. Next, check your secondary and primary hoses. If you're running fertilizer through the air seeder like a lot of guys do, especially abrasive materials like ammonium sulfate or potash, they begin to wear much faster on the tighter radiuses of primary and secondary hoses. So look at the condition of these, especially if the drill sits outside quite a bit. These hoses will wear and deteriorate much faster. So look at all of the hoses so you don't have to be changing them out mid-season. All right, next check the tires. These are 31 by 13.5 by 15 8-ply tires. Most growers find the 10-ply or the 12-ply tires last longer and they don't get nearly as many flats in the field, especially if you're seeding into crops like short soybean stubble that tends to eat into the 8-ply tires and they go flat a lot. So look at the tires on the air seeder and be cautious of tires that go flat a lot. They probably need to be replaced. Lastly, on the maintenance and what to look for on this drill, look at the hydraulic cylinders. Check them for leaks in the seals in the cylinders. Oftentimes if you raise the drill up, you can hear the frames clicking as the oil bypasses the seals. Some of these seals are worn enough, it lets some of the oil bypass the seal so you don't get full down pressure going to the ground because some of the oil bypasses within the seal cylinders. So check for leaks, listen for frames popping, and look also at hydraulic hoses. Some of the hoses on this drill or air seeder have actually been touching some of the tires and worn the rubber off, as you can see, exposing the steel braids. So these things need to be looked at and checked. So we've spent the last 2 days working on this air seeder. The 2 things that we've been changing out is the MOA kits on the front of every opener where it attaches to the 4x4 rock shaft, in addition to about 2/3 of the depth adjust axles that go through the middle of the opener to adjust the depth were seized and couldn't be adjusted. So if you're going to do that work, it's far easier to remove the openers from the rock shaft, pull them, separate them from the drill. You can work on them on the ground We've also got this rack which has a 4x4 rock shaft that enables you to work on the openers at shoulder height or chest height. It makes everything so much easier. If you're taking the openers off the drill, like I mentioned, anything that you can do to raise the drill up safely is going to give you more room to work on the drill. So this drill is blocked up on 6x6 blocks under every tire on the drill, and it's also blocked to stop it going forwards and backwards to make it safe. So anything you can do to raise it up is going to help. Talking about things to help, you need a high torque impact. This is a Milwaukee high torque impact with a wobble extension in addition to a swivel. You're going to find these a must in getting the openers off the rock shaft, especially in some of these tight areas under the center frame. There's a few where you're going to need a ratchet wrench like this, which will speed up getting the nuts off the bolts which hold the clamps around the rock shaft. So hopefully you found this video useful. We've got a lot of videos on YouTube that show you how to maintain all of these parts. So look at those when you get a chance. Feel free to like this channel so we'll keep you updated with new videos, and thanks for watching.